Gold Star families outraged tonight because she attacked former President Trump's visit to Arlington National Cemetery to honor their loved ones. A lengthy post on X from the VP this weekend reads in part, quote, "Let me be clear. The former president disrespected sacred ground, all for the sake of a political stunt. This is nothing new from Donald Trump. This is a man who has called our fallen service members suckers and losers and disparaged Medal of Honor recipients. This is a man who is unable to comprehend anything other than service to himself." The families of the 13 heroes killed in the botched Afghanistan withdrawal then recorded powerful messages calling out Kamala Harris.
I got to stop what I'm doing, spending time with what's left of my family, to address a heinous, vile, and disgusting post. Shows you how much you know about the 13 families. Why did we want Trump there? It wasn't to help his political campaign. We wanted a leader. That explains why you and Joe didn't get a call.
We invited President Trump. We are the ones that asked for the video and the pictures to be taken. President Trump has been there for us from the very beginning, when our son and the other 12 of his brothers and sisters in arms were murdered due to your negligence and uncaring attitude towards our military.
Vice President Harris, I ask you, why won't you return a call and explain to us how you call my daughter-in-law's death a success? Vice President Harris, why will you not express your condolences yourself? Why have we never heard from you?
Ain't nobody got time for that.
My, oh my, very dark and macabre opening to a show that is actually quite uplifting because, ladies and gentlemen, Kamala Harris is disintegrating. Her campaign is atomizing and they are getting desperate and it is about to get ugly. Buckle up. Buckle up. Things are about to go crazy here today, Monday, September 2nd, 2024. I love this new shot. I love the new shot. New show, who dis? New camera, new show, looking sharp. Ladies and gentlemen, rock and roll. And of course, we shaved the hobo beard that I had last week that everyone made fun of me so much for. All right, we're going to make fun of Kamala Harris and her inability to navigate and manage, obviously, the most serious elements of being president, right? Like, can you imagine a more important thing than the families of grieving soldiers who you've sent to their deaths? No, that is the most important job. It's why I'd never want to be president. Not because I don't think I'm capable of it, because I don't know if my soul could handle it. I mean, it's so tough to hear these stories. And we actually do tell these stories. We had Gold Star parents on the show all last week. Ladies and gentlemen, NBC now admitting fake news about Kamala Harris and the Gold Star families of the fallen 13 as Kamala Harris attacked Donald Trump for honoring the families. Again, how desperate do you got to be to attack Gold Star families? We'll cover it all today on the show. Will Kamala Harris chicken out of the debate with Donald Trump? She is trying to create every reason to get out of this debate with Trump. I think they are absolutely terrified. I really hope it doesn't happen. As we saw last week, Kamala Harris is incapable of answering any questions. You know the CNN interview that we were live for last week? Do you know that was like 47 minutes? And they cut it down to 16 minutes of Kamala Harris talking? Ooh, baby. Our favorite pollster in America, Rich Bears, joins the program live. My name is Benny Johnson, and this is The Benny Show live. Okay, you know what? Got to tell you, it is Labor Day. We have great respect for you. If you were like chilling out today, I think some people are chilling out today, but we are team never quit and team no sleep. And so we are going to rock and roll. We got 64 days. Nintendo 64 days before the election, and we are going to make sure that we eat our mushrooms and get big and strong like Mario and start crashing these barrels like Donkey Kong and getting through what we see as possibly the most important 64 days in American history. Okay. Can you tell I didn't play actually a lot of video games? I need to get my gamer reference. Nintendo 64 is actually like the I think the last console that I owned. And so make fun of me. Roast me, please. Roast me. I spend all day building our channels. I would love to have more time for gaming, to be quite honest with you. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The blackout coffee that keeps us rolling. That keeps us rolling like a Donkey Kong barrel or like the tank in the brigade. The blackout coffee goes directly into our veins every single morning. Right now, it is iced in this cup because it is still quite warm in Tampa, Florida. But the blackout coffee is the coffee that powers our program because, well, one, we love this brand. It's family owned. They love America. And two, it's made right here in the great state of Florida. It's made by Americans who love keeping us powered to defeat the communists. And that's what Blackout Coffee is all about. So stay energized with us. Blackoutcoffee.com/Benny. Blackoutcoffee.com/Benny. 20% off your first order. Be awake, not woke. I love saying that. You can also find them on Public Square, our dear friends on Public Square. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, NBC News has had to admit fake news. How rare. Don't be blackpilling. I want to see 0 black pills. Okay, I want to see 0 black pills. ALX, do we have members? Do we have like a red pill in the? Do we have a red pill in the in our for our members as an emoji? I'm wondering this. Yeah, we have memberships. Please, if you feel inclined, please join our memberships. It gives you access to special emojis. Do we have a red pill? I want no black pills in the audience. You are not allowed to be blackpilling. Blackpilling is people saying, "Oh, we're so doomed." No, we're not. First off, I want to bring your attention to the fact, and we're going to talk with one of the best pollsters in America today on the program. I want to bring your attention to the fact that Donald Trump, at this point, against Hillary Clinton and against Joe Biden, was down by double digits in all the polls. We're going to show you today how Donald Trump is up in all the polls, especially in swing state polls. How devastating that is for Kamala, who's not going to be able to turn this thing around. It only gets worse for her from here as the diabetic sugar high wears off. The corporate media has pumped so much high fructose corn syrup into the veins of the smooth-brained American people that they actually, think Kamala Harris is good. That wears off. You crash after that. And so we're going to see that crash, and the crash is happening now. But also happening now is the pure and total meltdown of the campaign. The DEI hire, intersectional, what's special? But like super low functioning, low wavelength people that operate Kamala Harris's campaign. And by the way, the only reason she was able to get a campaign is the same people who operated Joe Biden. Okay, so it's a dirty little secret. At the DNC, we were talking with a couple of Democrat activists. The dirty little secret is that nobody left the Biden team, and everyone was just ported right over to communist Kamala. And so Commie Kamala just like absorbed all of the stupidity and the embarrassment of Joe Biden's campaign, right? Remember Joe Biden like, "I'll debate you, Donald, if you'll show up. Are you too scared? Are you too chicken?" Remember that video? Those are the same people. Those are the same people. Remember the creepy intern videos at the White House? You remember what's the guy with the fingernails? Like, who are these influencers? The people who put that together with Jen Psaki? You can grab me that. I know Danny. I know producer Danny knows. He loves that video. What's the guy's name? Terrence, Clyde, whatever. Like these people, they're running Kamala's campaign, and they decided in all their genius and brilliance this weekend to make multiple unforced errors in one, attacking ABC News and attacking the rules of the debate, and two, attacking Gold Star families. You're starting to see a meltdown, a panic because she's losing. They're losing, and it continues to get worse from here. And trust me, by this time next week and by the end of the debate, Kamala Harris will be exactly where Joe Biden was. 5 to 10 points down in every single swing state, insurmountable, non-riggable elections. Trust me, by this time next week and after the debate, that's where she's going to be. The more people see of her, and by the way, she's campaigning today with Joe Biden. She's with Joe Biden on the stump. So she's dragging out Joe Biden, of all people. Not a great plan. She's having to do campaign events in New Hampshire. Not a great plan. Cooper was his name. Intern Cooper. Yeah, guys, come on. We have Intern Cooper. The people who brought you Intern Cooper at the White House. Levels of cringe that like need Fukushima radioactive reactor warning signs on it to say, please, the cringe could actually kill you from these videos. The same team that brought you Intern Cooper at the White House. Here it is, boys. Here it is. Man, I'm surprised it took us this long to grab this one. This is a all-timer, ladies and gentlemen. So these are the people running Kamala Harris's campaign. I do not want you to be fearful of this. I want to put this all in perspective.
Chrissy's calling. See you, Daddy. Bye.
Here we go.
Hi,
Yep,
my name is Cooper, and this is a day in my life as a White House intern.
We did a joke. Hey, everyone. Vogue.
Usually I start off with a big coffee. Sorry, they're like really strict.
Not blackout.
Hey, Jenny. I booked you a nail appointment, love.
Yeah, I didn't tell you to do that.
It's called Initiative. Hi, White House. This is Cooper. I don't think so. Oh, doesn't matter.
This is actually the entrance to the West Wing. This is so fun and it's really prestigious.
Hey, POTUS. Is Olivia Rodrigo still here?
No. We've come a long way in our fight against this virus. We've vaccinated 160 million Americans. Are you getting this all down?
Don't worry, Queen. It's all right here.
Cooper.
Sorry, Miss Jen. And Jen, don't forget to have fun. Spirit fingers, Mama.
We need to get shots in the arms of every single American.
I'm heading to a haircut.
Comment if you want me to make more of these.
Actually, people did. And they just rebranded the campaign Communist Kamala Harris and then put Cooper in charge. So this is the person who's currently actively in charge of Camilla's campaign. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's hop into here. I just want you to not don't black pill. All right, no black pills. Hey, Alex, do we have a red pill for our members or no? No, okay, not yet. All right, we'll get one. If you want to join the membership on YouTube, you get access to really special little emojis. If you'd like to, by the way, if you are a member, go ahead and give me some Donald Trump raising his fist emojis. Donald Trump raising his fist. The only channel that'll give you Donald Trump raising fist emojis. Fight, fight, fight. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. NBC News admits fake claim about Communist Kamala. I'm going to call her Communist Kamala. I like that name. I like it. I think it's very insulting. I think it's very upsetting to people. Nobody likes Queen Camilla in England. We have our own Queen Camilla here in America. They both have a very similar path to power. Both Queen Camillas. All right. None of them have earned anything. They had to do dirty, filthy things, destroy lives, marriages, wreck people in order to get to where they are. They're both bloodthirsty monsters. We both have Queen Camilla. Camilla in England and Queen Communist Camilla here in America. Very similar. So we're gonna link them. We're gonna link them together. Okay. All right. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. So on TV this weekend, NBC News parroted a lie. Now, it is my personal honor to have coached Vivek Ramaswamy during his sort of debate breakout moment to look Kristen Welker, liar, in the face and say, hey, do you disavow, the RNC is allowing liars and frauds to ask questions at an RNC debate. Why are they doing this? You might remember this moment. Vivek and I worked all morning on this, actually. Why are you letting Kristen Welker, a Russian collusion hoaxer, ask Republicans a question? Can you apologize for pushing the Russian collusion hoax, which she did? And then the camera turns to her and she goes, oh, it's perfect. This is cinema. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was in the ancient, distant past. It was about 6 months ago. And we must carry on. Now, Kristen Welker is proving that she is a liar who deserved to be called out. Here's Kristen Welker this weekend talking to Tom Cotton and parroting a absolute and total fabrication clearly handed to her by the Camilla campaign that says that Communist Camilla was there to greet the soldiers' bodies as they rolled off the back of the military jet at Dover Air Force Base for the dignified transfer. She wasn't there, okay? And there's a lot more to this story. Here we go.
Bottom line, though, I guess, Senator, is it ever appropriate to make campaign content at military grave sites?
He didn't take campaign photos there. These families, Gold Star families, whose children died because of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's incompetence, invited him to the cemetery. And they asked him to take those photos because, as they told me yesterday, when I spoke to Kelly Barnett and Darren Hoover, the parents of Taylor Hoover, who has Arkansas ties, they don't get to go to the beach on Labor Day. They don't get to have barbecues. This is their one chance to have a memory of their children, to commemorate their service and to honor their sacrifice. They wanted President Trump there. They wanted to take those photos. You know who the families also invited? Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Where were they? Joe Biden was sitting at a beach. Kamala Harris was sitting at her mansion in Washington, D.C. She was 4 miles away. 10 minutes. She could have gone to the cemetery and honored the sacrifice of those young men and women. But she hasn't. She never has spoken to them or taken a meeting with them.
Well, they did meet with them during the dignified transfer.
Because of
they were with them at the dignified transfer.
Her and Joe Biden's incompetence, those 13 Americans were killed in Afghanistan.
I don't know how anybody thinks that this is a W. So first off, Welker lies. NBC has now apologized for that lie. Kamala Harris wasn't there during the dignified transfer. Joe Biden did look at his watch during the dignified transfer. ALX and I will remember we caught a load of hell for saying that. Am I wrong, ALX? We were the first people to catch that news, and we put that up. And we were watching live, and we said, Joe Biden's looking at his watch, dude. And we popped that up. And we had like every fact checker coming for our throats. Every fact checker that currently fact checker, okay? Every regime, every eunuch, okay? Regime gimp, all right? In a little gimp suit with a little leash on them, okay? And a ball gag in their mouth, run entirely by the Democratic establishment. They call themselves fact checkers. These little animals started like coming for us. It was unbelievable. So we had like 50 different inquiries. How can you prove Joe Biden looked at his watch? It was insane. This is a couple of years ago. Yeah, it was insane. ALX is like, yeah, this is crazy. They were like rabid animals trying to like, because remember, this was Joe Biden hadn't even been the American resident for like 6 months. You know, this was 2021 when this happened. And they were doing everything they could to prop this guy up. And here he is at the dignified transfer staring at his watch, right? Disrespecting those families. So it's incredible how much they've tried to uphold this lie. And the new iteration of the lie is not that Joe Biden didn't look at his watch. Now they all have to, because we fought back, they all have to like go and apologize for that. Even Jen Psaki had to change her book. Maybe it was Cooper. Maybe it was intern Cooper that wrote Jen Psaki's book. We don't know. Jen Psaki had to change her book because it said that Joe Biden didn't look at his watch. She had to go back and do a revision. Isn't that wild? We won and we continue to win. Red pill emoji has been added. Producers tell me red pill emoji has been added, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know if you can use it in the chat. Let me know if you can use the old red pill in the chat. I'd love to see it. Okay. So the point here is that they will lie and continue to lie until they're called out. Now, why they would ever use in all politics, it's called signal boosting. Okay. So this is a really important way that political campaigns are able to, through entities that they control and through individuals on their campaign who go on TV and talk, you can signal boost certain topics and certain issues. Donald Trump wants to signal boost the economy, signal boost immigration, signal boost how bad things are going right now with a bunch of wars that Joe Biden started. This is signal boosting. Why Kamala would want to signal boost the Afghanistan withdrawal, I don't know. You know, you could just shut up about things. This is something like, you know, hello, look at all these red pills. Oh, those are beautiful. Oh, I love those red pills. I eat the red pill. I'm like the girl on TikTok, right? And he's like, I will eat the red pill live on camera. Hello. I got my beautiful salt shaker here. Like, Republicans, you don't have to talk about the things they want you to talk about. Hey, idiots. I'm talking to like Republican senators, Republican members of Congress. You don't have to talk about the latest Trump tweet or the latest like fake scandal. You can just decide what you're talking about. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about all of the criminal aliens who've been murdering American women. Like, you can change the subject very quickly, okay, if you just have a mastery of what you choose to talk about. If you can control yourself, all right? That's what you can control the conversation. Remember, we are powerful. So this is called signal boosting. Why Kamala Harris couldn't just shut up and just like stay quiet on this? Because it's a very bad look for her. Again, in a moment, we'll be joined by one of our favorite pollsters in America, proving that like this has been very, very bad ride for Kamala Harris. But here's how it gets worse. All right. Now, one, you ordered these men to their death, and you bragged about it. You bragged about it on TV. Do we have that clip, by the way, of her actually bragging? I know Trump posted it on X. If we don't, let's grab that. You bragged about how you ordered these Americans to their death and how your incompetence led to their death. Why on earth would you want to reinsert yourself and reinsert that failure into the news cycle? Also, boys, grab me, speaking of polls, grab me Real Clear Politics. I want to see Joe Biden's approval ratings because I'll prove to you how terrible this is. It's like they want to lose. That's my running theory. My running theory is that they want to lose. Okay? I was waiting to get there later in the show, but here we are. I think they want to lose. I don't think they want to win. I think they want to lose. It's wild. Because why would you bring more attention to this? Real Clear Politics, approval rating of Joe Biden. I want to see it. I'm telling you, this is the worst. The Afghanistan withdrawal, it devastated Joe Biden and it devastated Kamala, and they've never returned from it. It's the end. So why you would want to reinvigorate that or bring that back up, I don't know. But Kamala went and did it this weekend. Put up the polling. Let's go. Let me see it. So this is the, keep going, scrolling down. So you can see how devastating it is. Go. There we go. See that? See the inversion there? Red is bad. Black is good. Okay, there's the approval versus disapproval. What's that inversion? What's that, you might say? You sweet carnivore of content, Benny. That is the Afghanistan withdrawal. There it is. Right there. You can just hover over it. You see the inversion? You see how high Joe Biden was? You see what that sugar high, how high his approval rating was? You see that collapse? Why would you want to signal boost that once again into the psyche of the American people? Also, look at how unbelievably unpopular Joe Biden is to this day. Whoa. Whoa. Idiots. Queen Camilla, communist Queen Camilla, saying this. As vice president, I have the privilege of visiting Arlington Cemetery several times. Sure. First off, how do you write this? It's going to take me so long to get through this. I'm trying not to stop every 10 seconds. It's not really a privilege. These people died serving their country. These families are grieving. The solemn honor, maybe? Let me help you. There's a chat GPT over you. Hello? Bueller. It's not really a privilege. It's more of like a solemn honor. Again, intern Cooper is writing this. National Cemetery several times. Solemn place come together, honor American heroes, sacrifice, service, nation. You were raised in Canada. You don't even care about America. It's not a place for politics. Okay. Well, Donald Trump didn't practice politics there. He was there invited by the family members because he's the only person who showed up for these family members. They come on the program all the time and talk to us about how much they love Trump. Every one of them has like a signed Trump hat in the background of their shot. It's awesome. Donald Trump actually showed up. Yet it was reported that Donald Trump's team chose to film video there, resulting in an altercation with cemetery staff. Let me be clear. The former president has disrespected sacred ground, all for the sake of a political stunt. Huh. So this is their take. All right. This is their take. If there's one thing that we as Americans can all agree on, it's that our veterans, military families, and service members should be honored and never disparaged or treated with nothing less than the highest respect and gratitude. Coming from a lady who never met with the families, This is freaking wild. She lives in a mansion just a few feet away from Arlington Cemetery. Okay, it's like 2 miles, but it's not far, especially if you have a motorcade. She lives on a military base. Maybe she could take a helicopter. She lives at the Naval Observatory Circle. Kamala Harris has never met with the Afghanistan families. They're on the program telling us this. And so she decided to flex on Trump. Like, what galaxy brain? Who thought this was a good idea? One, you're signal boosting, the most unpopular thing you've ever done when you were vice president. That they're all trying to, like, Men in Black, like, flashy thing, you know. Oh, you forgot that Kamala was vice president for the last 4 years. Remember, the lady was vice president for the last 4 years. She's the second most powerful person on the planet for the last 4 years. Boop, you forgot about all that. Well, she's campaigning with Joe Biden today, so good luck. But then 2, you're going to sit here and, like, go after Trump for comforting the families of people Americans you killed, lady? Oh, yeah. Expect to be hit hard by the Trump campaign for this one. And the Trump campaign responded in less than 24 hours. They had videos, 6 videos, I believe. Here's the Gold Star response. Let's put up ALX's tweet here. 6 videos, I believe. And you can see here, President Trump posting all of them, maybe more. I'm sorry, 8 videos that I can see here in the screenshot. Perhaps there were even more, but 8 videos that were here for our screenshotting purposes. And this went thermonuclear viral, by the way. ALX getting 10,000 retweets and 41,000 likes off of this. I saw a number of Trump teams sharing it. Here's what the families had to say. Kamala, you done messed up.
Vice President Harris, my name is Jim McCollum. I am the Gold Star father of United States Marine Corps Lance Corporal Riley McCollum, killed in Afghanistan, August 26, 2021. Your recent remarks related to Trump's visit to Arlington are filled with nothing but lies and deceit.
A heinous, vile, and disgusting post put out by Kamala Harris.
You indicated in your post that you support the military and military families. I, for one, have not seen that support. It's been 3 years since my son was killed in action, and myself, my family, and other Gold Star families have not seen any support from you or your administration.
At no time have you reached out to me to offer your condolences, to offer thank you for Kareem's sacrifice and service. Not once have you honored him by saying his name, so I said it for you. You have disparaged all 13 who have lost their lives as well as their families, exhibiting your lack of gratitude by your silence.
Vice President Harris, I ask you, why won't you return a call and explain to us how you call my daughter-in-law's death a success?
President Trump has been there for us from the very beginning when our son and the other 12 of his brothers and sisters in arms were murdered due to your negligence and uncaring attitude towards our military.
After 3 years until now, like Kamala Harris and President Biden didn't even say their 13 names. They called the withdrawal in Afghanistan a success. And for us, it was just sadness and a disgrace. They are the responsible persons of murdering our kids.
There is one thing that you said in your statement that was true. No one should be running for president if they cannot honor military members, their families, as well as veterans. So I guess that means that you should step down, Kamala.
So, you don't really need any extra commentary than that, right? Let the family speak for themselves. This is why if you subscribe and follow the show, you'll see many familiar faces there. We have those Gold Star families on, honor them. And the best way to honor them is actually just let them speak and let them tell you what happened, including how Kamala Harris has never reached out once. Not even a freaking form letter. You know, these people, like, they have like these giant staff in DC to send form letters to people, right? They don't even know. They have like the inked on signatures and everything. You can't even like dignify them by saying their kid's name or like sending a form letter. Yet you use all of this to attack Trump. So President Trump sharing those videos was a stroke of genius, obviously. President Trump also posting this on X. Donald Trump is back to posting on X, and it's Riot. You should go follow, obviously, him. If you don't, he's 90.2 million followers. I think President Trump is maybe the fifth or sixth most followed person on X. Not exactly sure. He's up there, though. I want to thank the families of the great warriors who have been lost to us for the way that they came together as one, and thanked me for attending at their request the celebration of wonderful family members who, because of the incompetence of Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, are no longer with us. Thank you for saying you wanted me to stand with you at Arlington National Cemetery, take pictures at your request, not mine. Great honor to do so. I will never forget. Lightweight Vice President Kamala Harris tried turning it around because they weren't there. They've never spoken to the families. They have no intention to do so. In Afghanistan, you don't take the soldiers out first. You take the soldiers out last. This would be the military 101. Basic leaders in disaster should be immediately fired. We have fools in the White House. And this was accompanied with a letter from the families. So this is Donald Trump just a straight up mogging of Kamala Harris. And it's they have no they legitimately have nothing to stand on. NBC News, here's the post. NBC News had to admit that they lied on camera. It is totally indefensible. Your guy is the guy who killed these soldiers and looked at his watch. And then Joe Biden, where's Joe Biden? Sitting his ass on a beach, dude. Joe Biden's been on a beach. He's been on a 2-week vacation. So somebody from the Joe Biden account, probably intern Cooper's, tweeted, "I've been working tirelessly this weekend." Got it. Here we go. Here's your working tirelessly. Does America even need a president? At this point, is that what they're trying to prove? Tulsi Gabbard, final thoughts on this. Tulsi Gabbard, who was with President Trump, who of course is still a member of the Army National Guard, who's endorsed President Trump, was with him at Arlington. She was with him there. She was a firsthand witness to supposedly rude behavior by some of Trump's staff. Got it? Okay. Well, again, says who, right? And also, in what universe? And there are actually so many examples of this, but my entire timeline was Joe Biden filming videos there, Barack Obama filming videos there, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush. This idea that you're not allowed to take a photo of the president in Arlington, the commander in chief in Arlington, since when? And by what measure are you? By what measure? Because this is so irrefutably stupid and so easily proven that whoever you name the politician, they've taken a photo at Arlington Cemetery. Name them. I was there with Clarence Thomas once. Clarence Thomas, Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, was there laying wreaths for wreaths across America. It's cool. One of my only times I ever met Clarence Thomas. He just showed up to lay wreaths at Arlington Cemetery. It's awesome. Anyway, Tulsi Gabbard was there. She had firsthand witnessing of this. And also, she endorsed Donald Trump. We'll talk to Rich Barris in just a moment about what her endorsement means in the polls. Here's what Tulsi had to say.
I was there from the beginning with the laying of the wreaths with the family members, the Gold Star family members, and some of the survivors of that terrorist attack in that disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan. I was with them at Section 60, and what I saw was a very grave and somber remembrance and honoring of those lives that were lost. And I saw President Trump spending time at the invitation of these Gold Star families with them. He was there for a few hours. I did not see or hear about any kind of altercation until something came out in the news later on. The families were there grieving alongside President Trump, and it was a very special moment to really remember their names, remember their memories, and understand the true cost of war and the consequences of the decisions that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden made in the execution of that withdrawal.
So another hoax. Got it. Here's a photo of Clarence Thomas at Arlington National Cemetery. Just a reminder that Clarence Thomas is a complete and total G, and just shows up to do fine and wonderful things for the American people. Speaking of somebody who's doing fine and wonderful things for the American people, the great Rich Barris, director of Big Data Poll, joins the show to talk through all of Trump's recent polling wins. Oh my, has this all backfired? The answer is yes. Here we go with Rich. What's up, homie? How you doing, man?
Living the dream, brother. Happy Labor Day. I see, though, you're working like me.
Happy Labor Day. Yeah. Hey, man. Like it's
Labor Day.
This is team never quit. All right.
Yeah.
This is team hustle and grind, no sleep. So talk to us about some of the recent polling trends. We spent I see we have quite a bit here. Your favorite friend, your dear buddy, Nate Silver, being just a real stinger for libs. They hate Nate Silver now because he continues to say that President Trump is likely to win. Is he right? I know you also hate Nate Silver, maybe for different professional reasons.
Yeah, I just think he's the worst thing to happen to the polling industry. You know, he's a complete con artist. He's not a modeler. Like, he's just a poll observer. If you watch Inside the Numbers, you can do what Nate Silver does. You know, I mean, look at the polls, and that's about it. But basically, yeah, he's going to go back and forth like this, Benny, because he unskews polls. So, like, which is hilarious because he mocks the unskew the poll movement. But you know, Rasmussen, they'll have Trump up by 3. He'll adjust it to like Harris +1 because he says Rasmussen has a House bias. However, you can completely blow Wisconsin by 17 points and he'll give you an A+ and tell you that, you know, you're spot on. But it should be concerning for liberals because if this guy can't fudge it, then they're in trouble. And then, to be real, there was a response bias that I tried to bring up, and now every pollster's pretending like they agreed immediately with me, which is hilarious. It's quite lonely over here when you do the things that I do, right? And they only come around when they really have no choice but to come around because everyone can see it. And what happened is that like certain Democratic groups, and for us, it's like Democratic older Black women who are more loyal to the Democratic Party, they were under a rock, you know, when Biden was a walking corpse, and now they're not under a rock anymore. And Democrats want to take polls again, and we're starting to see an environment that's like 2020. And that's really, though, what should concern Democrats, not give them jubilation when they see an IBD +3 advantage, because they know what I'm about to say is true. Their internal polling, which does detailed stratification, and they set quotas to make sure that they don't, well, you can't avoid the response bias, but you can minimize it. Their polling is not good. Their polling is bad for her. They know it, and I know it because I've seen it. All right. And I see it a lot, basically on a consistent basis. And there's just no bounds for her at the convention. And that matters because Hillary Clinton came out of the convention in our polling with a 5-point bump, which, by the way, took about 4 or 5 days to even happen. So like these morning console polls that are like post-convention, it was 6 hours later, Benny, you know, and they're like post-convention poll. Dude, you suck. You know you suck. Stop it. You're just like clickbait for Bloomberg News. It's not like legitimate polling. You can't do that. Public opinion doesn't move like that. It doesn't act that way, you know. But Biden got a 7-point bump in the Epoch Times big data poll that we did. He got a 7-point bump. She got nothing. 0. Zilch. So considering Donald Trump's past, tendencies to outperform the polls, you're in trouble. I mean, so like, let's get back to planet Earth now. You know, let's put aside like the Kamala +10s in Michigan they pumped out, which are garbage. The good pollsters, the ones that have done a decent job, see this as like bad news for her. And it is because, you know, I hate to burst everyone's bubble, but the New York Times poll will be wrong. All right. Trump is not going to win the white working class by 10 points. That's a response bias, and they know it. Nate Cohn knows it, you know, so that's why they were wrong last time, and they'd be wrong again if the election was today.
So you're saying that Kamala Harris has reached peak. Peak of the sugar high, the peak of the diabetes type 2, high fructose corn syrup that they can pump into everyone's veins. You're saying that this is the ceiling. And
Yeah. No. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, please. And can you talk us through that?
Yeah, I do think I think that's it. And I think one of the things that are going to blunt that, any real movement to her. And again, one group I could point to, which is definitely made it a closer race than it was before with Biden, is that group of Black voters over the age of 45, particularly women. And then you have some more younger liberal men, so we're always hearing about suburban women, but actually those are not the groups that you're seeing this immense movement with. Those are the groups that you're seeing response bias with, but the younger white, I love abortion, educated beyond his necessity, liberal male who lives in Dane County, Wisconsin, like that guy stopped sipping his latte and said, okay, I'm going to vote, right? That guy. He stopped choking on his boba, bro, and he's going to make sure he mails in his ballot. Like, that's the difference in this race now. But that all being said, it's really not enough, because the real swing voter, and this is what I would point to, the real swing voter who said, I voted for Joe Biden in 2020, but now I'm going to vote for Donald Trump, is still twice as many as those who say they're going to vote. They voted for Donald Trump and now they're going to vote for Kamala Harris. Like, guys, don't be surprised if Kamala does worse with white working class people in the Rust Belt than Hillary Clinton does. I mean, just think about it for a second. Use your brains. All right. I mean, she has no renown. She's way to the left of Hillary Clinton. At least Hillary pretended to be a Christian. Like, these people do vote on these values. Okay. Like, contrary to what people think and talk about and obsess with in the polls, they will look at Kamala and Tim Walz and say, I think this may be a little bit too much for me. By the way, I'm not the only one. I mean, Minnesota's favorite poll for KTSU was Kamala plus 10 a few weeks ago. It's now Kamala plus 5. Listen, I've been around a while. I remember this. This looks mighty familiar to me. All right. I remember when that very poll, did the same thing in Minnesota, and that was against Hillary Clinton. And we polled it. We saw it was closer than it should have been. The guy almost carried it. Like a little push, Benny, and Minnesota would have went, like a little, and it would have went. But he rightfully focused on the other three. They were easier lifts, but he could have carried it. I mean, it looks that way to me. This is what it reminds me of.
So I want to talk to you about two phenomenons that you've been hitting pretty hard, which is the RFK Tulsi Gabbard endorsements, also black males supporting President Trump. That bounce that we saw materialize for the past year, where Donald Trump is overperforming with black males, particularly younger blacks, that hasn't really, but that is stubborn, and that's sticking with Trump. Kamala hasn't changed that, despite all the cringe outreach that she's done. And the RFK bounce, is that real? Is there such a thing as an RFK bounce? Can you talk us through those two phenomena?
I'm going to, on the RFK issue, and here, well, actually, let's start with the black vote since it's up. This is now. This is recent. This poll will be out soon. Of course, this is like raw, which is actually typically more Democratic. This is the overall black vote. Now, this is an improvement, and I have been telling people for months, yes, Trump is doing better with the black vote against Joe Biden. I think it's a little high, and I think it's going to be, like, in the polling, I think it's a little high, and it'll be on the lower end of the sampling era. This looks a lot more believable to me, and I'm going to tell you why. Black women did go, in large part, move back to Kamala, and Trump is still doing better with them than he did in 2020 and 2016. But black men didn't budge at all. And all those other polls out there that show that he's like down in the low single digits now, they did this last time. They didn't, and I'm telling you, they're going to be wrong. I guarantee you, if they released their difference between male and female, and we saw the age groups, they're overstating females. They're overstating the females who want to take polls, which are a certain age and above. And that's why they were wrong before, and that's why they'll be wrong again. But this is a healthy sample. You can't really see the number there, but this is 500 plus interviews with just black voters alone, not 200, not 150 like you see in media polls. Yeah, there it is. That's 524 interviews with just black voters alone. And if you look at females, he's a little bit above, 12, about 12%, which is down from where it was against Biden. But among black men, he didn't move at all. And that's because, honestly, and it's not to sound mean, I'm not trying to be mean. It's just I'm a numbers guy, and sometimes numbers sound cruel. The older they are, the more loyal they are to the Democratic Party. But you know what happens to old people over the period of 4 and 8 years? Benny, they die. All right. I mean, that's what happens. Yesterday's super senior black voter who was a super loyal Democrat, because in their mind, they still have the civil rights era is their context. It's their construct that they look at the world through. They're not going to be around forever. And in fact, many of them are gone from 2016, right? So, and the same thing is true of any voter, white voter, Hispanic voter. So things change. Time moves on. It's like we have this fake impression that black voters are going to be 100 to or 98 to forever. Well, that's not going to happen. There are new people who enter the electorate. They don't have the civil rights mindset. And there's what we refer to as like a cascading effect. You'll see a little trend as time goes on, and then eventually the floodgates will open. That's what happens. That's how trends work. And it's because it's very easy to shame a younger black male who may be thinking about voting for Donald Trump if the shame is like 10-1. But it gets harder when it's 8-1, and it gets real hard when it's 6-1, which is the environment we're in now, where they just don't really care what their aunties think anymore, or they just won't talk about it with them, but they're going to go in there and they're going to vote, and they'll tell a pollster, nah, I'm going to vote for Trump this time. And actually, in our polling consistently, black voters have been among the highest likelihood to say they made a mistake from 2020. So among voters who did vote in 20, they're real honest, and they're like, look, I blew it, man. I was doing better. And it's about the money. It's about the economy, and it's also about immigration. They feel like that their community has been loyal to the Democratic Party for many, 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 many years. And yet they're being treated like second-class citizens compared to illegal immigrants. And their schools are being filled up. Their neighborhoods are being filled up. And it's like, what about me? Only it's very justified. What about them? What about it?
So you're saying that based on your data that Donald Trump could pull over close to 30% of the black vote.
I think when you look at the undecided, that's the undecided. So of those 10% that told us they were undecided, that's what happens when you lean them and you say, look, if you had to decide today, if I was like forcing you to make a decision, who are you going to go for? And Trump takes it's a smaller sample, of course, but it's not like she's running away with every single undecided. She's not. So I think it is very well within reason that Donald Trump will get a low end of like 15-16% of the black vote and a high end of a little over 20.
How's that compare with 2016 and 2020?
So he got, let's say if you look at the voter validated surveys, he only got around 10% of the black vote in 2020, which was up from 2016 because he did better than Romney, but he's still largely shut out. Hillary had a deep relationship with the black community, and she put the work in over decades. So she got, not like Obama, but certainly an overperformance. But then in 2020, you could see that cracking, and many of us talked about the black male voter, especially younger voters. But in truth, Trump did better with black women in 2022, and had he won the election, we all would have been obsessed over it, because black women voted higher rates than men. In 2016, they were almost parity, but in 2020, black women voted a little bit higher rate. And so, obviously that'll skew the final margin if you don't do as well, or if you don't budge at all, but he did. And he did do better with black women. So he was able to tick up. And just so people understand, I'm not one to overstate the black vote, Benny. Like that is not this poll. All right. Like we had him at 12%. He got like 10%. Like we don't overstate Republican support with minorities. It's not our trend anyway. It's not our track record.
So is the RFK and Tulsi endorsements, are you able to see that in the data? Are you able to see anything tightening up or shifting given those endorsements?
So without a doubt, we knew, as many people did, that this was coming. So as the convention was going on, we just dropped a couple of series of questions into the poll about that, that impact. And of those who told us that they were going to vote for Robert Kennedy, we would follow up and say, look, if Robert Kennedy was out of the race tomorrow, where would you go? And these are the numbers. So just over 40%, about 42% organically said Donald Trump, and that's it. That is my top second choice. What's interesting is Kamala got like a quarter, but that was it. That was about it. And then when we push the people who said that they were going to vote for somebody else or and the reason why it says maybe Trump is because when they said someone else, we asked them, what if Robert Kennedy endorsed Donald Trump and ended up supporting him? Then that 15.2% said, okay, then yeah, I can get on board with that. So he's already up to almost 60% of Kennedy's vote when you combine those. The other 12, it's not that wouldn't vote for Trump. It's just that we identified them as most likely to just stay home. They wouldn't vote at all. But that's game changing. So if you look at a state like Arizona and you look at where Kennedy is and was in Arizona, that number, when you look at those numbers combined, you're talking about over 40,000 votes. I mean, that's the ball game in the state of Arizona in 2020. That's the ball game, folks. In Pennsylvania, he was decidedly hurting Donald Trump. I had been for months and months and months polling the state and trying to explain to people who still thought just because he was a Democrat, he was going to hurt Biden or the Democratic nominee. That is not the case. He wasn't taking the wino Valium suburban educated mom from like Delco or Montgomery. Like, that's not who he's appealing to. He was appealing to working class, the remnants of the Obama coalition that were white working class and other Democratic Party that don't like the direction the Democratic Party went. However, they're not ready to move over to the Republican Party yet. But if you took him off the ballot, Trump is different. They don't really see him as the Republican Party. So like he'd still get 40% of them and they may not vote for the Republican down ballot. But he would get, and that's why you could just simply go to the RCP average, folks, and look at the 5-way, the 6-way. And Harris was doing better in that than she was in the head-to-head. That's because these voters have nowhere to go when you're conducting a poll. You can't, most people aren't giving them the option of saying, I'll stay home. They're making them decide. And when you make them decide, they go with Trump. And it gives an advantage to Trump. And he was doing better in the head-to-head than he was in the crowded ballot. So Minnesota is another state where, without a doubt, he was hurting Donald Trump. So, yeah, I mean, look, you could see it right there, 6.3%. That's actually a little bit lower than where we had Kennedy in Arizona, or a state like Arizona and Nevada. Both, actually, he was around like 8. And when we leaned people, he was just under 10. So, that again, in Nevada, that's the ball game, folks. That is the ball game.
So we have a lot of polls coming out this morning showing that Trump's up by a point or two across swing states. Trafalgar, yeah. I know Rasmussen. You're saying that Kamala Harris, do not be shocked when Kamala Harris winds up a week from now after the debate at where Biden was, where you're looking at 5 and 10 point gaps in swing states. Can you talk us through that?
I think that Kamala could do better in national polling and even in the national vote than Biden was gearing up to do, because there are just certain really deep blue areas where she's going to, it's not a core walking corpse anymore. So they're going to get off their couch and they're going to vote, or they're going to mail in a ballot. However, that still will not help her with the voters that Biden was suffering with in like the northern Midwest and the Sun Belt states. They thought when they got in this race that their path would be through the Sun Belt and then plucking off, of course, what they thought at the time. Pennsylvania would be the easiest, but they even know in their own polling, she's down in Pennsylvania. And I'm going to blow the lid off of it. If I'm wrong, Kamala, you can release your poll right now and you can put it out on Twitter and show everybody that you're up in your polling, but that's not the case. So you can't do that, right? So you would drop it and it would say what? Trump plus almost 2, right? Because just saw it. So anyway, basically I'm telling you, they know this. And, there's like an environment that was giving her, it's like a high, and the response bias bloated her numbers. And when this dust settles, she could have a great debate performance, Benny. But the truth is debates don't really have a tremendous impact. There are 2 that will be added to the history books where they did. One was Ronald Reagan, of course, in his single debate against Jimmy Carter. And that's something like people like me and sophologists talk about all the time. But the other one is going to be Joe Biden. Just having a complete mental breakdown on TV because it was an Emperor Has No Clothes moment. Look at the interview she did with Dana, whatever, Bash from CNN. If they taped almost an hour worth of footage, you're in this business. If they taped almost an hour worth of footage, all right, and they're only going to release 30-something minutes, and those 30-something minutes are awful because they are. They and Democrats really felt like in order to stop what I'm saying from happening in a couple of weeks, she needed a knockout CNN interview. She didn't put it up. How bad is the rest of that interview if that's the section we got, Benny? You know what I'm saying? Like, think about that for a second. How bad is it?
Release the tapes.
Release
the tapes. Yeah.
So that makes my confidence level a lot less that she's going to go out there and knock this out of the park when it comes to the debate. She would need something. Even Biden was considered to have done significantly better. But what happened in the post-Labor Day environment? Trump just kept closing and closing. He's a very strong closer. I mean, yes, past his prologue, but it doesn't necessarily it doesn't guarantee that, past will be prologue. But damn, I mean, if you're the Democratic nominee, do you not want to be 10 points ahead of Donald Trump right now? You know how this goes. You know how this closes. By mid-September, your lead is fading. By October, you got your push polls and your Biden plus 17s that are trying to still give people something to snort up their nose, right, to keep them going another couple of weeks. But it doesn't happen. And then come Election Day, this huge swarm of people will come to the polls, crawling across broken glass. They'll walk over the hot lava just to get to the damn voting booth to vote for this guy. So, yeah, that's what I'm telling you is going to happen in a couple weeks. Mark my words. Wow. And actually, it already is. It already, I mean, in our polling, it already is. The high is gone. It's gone.
So it's going to be very, very interesting to watch this debate. It's going to be very interesting to watch Trump close. I just don't know. I don't know how you psyop enough people to believe that Kamala Harris wasn't in charge for the last 4 years. People didn't like the way things were going under Biden, and people don't like it because they know that Kamala Harris ran with Biden. I don't know how they sell that message. I guess there's enough smooth brain people that can just like forget and do the Men in Black flashy thing, and where it's like Kamala was never president. She's gonna change it all. I don't think it's gonna work, man. I don't think it's gonna work.
I'm with you, and I tend to agree.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. But I have faith in my countrymen, and you're one of them, Rich. And everybody needs to go follow Rich, Big Data Poll. And this is obviously the man who brings clarity to all polls. Follow him on X. He has a spectacular following there. Almost 300,000 Americans cannot
coming up on it.
Come on, baby.
Push me over, guys. Let's go.
Rock and roll. Follow Rich, and I think I'm gonna call you the People's Pundit from now on. Rich, I love Rich Barris, but man, the People's Pundit branding was
from. I honestly can't remember. Laura takes credit for it. Laura says she takes credit for it, but somebody had said it, and she said, I whispered that to them. I'm like, all right. I mean, it's been so many years now. I honestly can't remember. I'll let her take credit. We'll go from there.
Remember, Kamala Harris was never vice president. Remember.
Right.
Thank you, Rich. Godspeed,
all the best, brother. All the best.
Right. It's good to have friends in the polling industry. It keeps us grounded, right? You don't want to ever be telling people, like, you don't want to ever be pushing fake news. You don't want to give people copium, right? And to have people who actually do the work, do the math, and run the algorithms. Rich Barris is one of those, man. Kamala Harris apparently has run the algorithm, and it says, don't debate Donald Trump. So Harris campaign refuses to sign off on muted mic debate rules, still in discussions with ABC. So we have this big debate that's supposed to happen in 10 days, right? So it's supposed to happen in 10 days. This will be Thursday of next week, right? Wednesday or Thursday of next week. So we're it's go time. Now, Donald Trump, some might argue, should have never even agreed to this. And I've made that argument. As much fun as it will be, I've made the argument that Donald Trump's the actual legitimate presidential candidate. Nobody else is a presidential candidate. Kamala's not a presidential candidate. She wasn't elected. Nobody voted for her. She's not real. It's all fake. Fugazi. It's not real. It's a good cheap knockoff you find on the street. She made for the streets. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are. Kamala Harris has absolutely no legitimacy to ask for anything. No legitimacy to make any requests. But here we are. She's here. She's all weekend. She's out mewling and moaning about like how there's not going to be muted mics. So again, this is the debate terms that were agreed to with Joe Biden as the candidate. They done swapped out the person. Doesn't work like that. If I want to go on a date with my wife, been married to her for 7 years, got 4 kids together. If I want to go on a date with my wife and Gorlock the Destroyer shows up or Dylan Mulvaney, then I say, date's off. You're not my wife, right? Like that's how it works. You swapped the candidate. You swapped the person. So Kamala Harris has zero legitimacy to make any demands of anyone. She's illegitimate. Yet here she is all weekend complaining about how the mics aren't going to be muted. And this is very interesting. I think we have a clip here of why Kamala Harris wants the mics to be unmuted, because this is the, and again, let's do a cringe alert for this. This is a cringe. This is like so hard to watch. This is what Kamala Harris did with Mike Pence. And what an embarrassment that Mike Pence like fell for this. Okay, here we go. Get ready for strong female character, girl boss, Kamala Harris coming in and saying, I'm speaking.
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking. I'm speaking. Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking.
Well, wait.
I'm speaking.
It'd be important if you said the truth.
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking. I'm speaking. Okay. If you don't mind letting me finish, we can then have a conversation. Okay?
Please.
Okay.
Non-answer.
Trying to answer you
the
now.
American people deserve a straight answer.
I will not sit here and be lectured by the Vice President. I'm speaking. Yeah, I'm about to. I will not be lectured by the Vice President.
How do people fall for this? You know, like rewatching this, like, oh man, they've always been the same people. We're just like watching it with more scrutiny now because it's like it's getting real. This individual plus intern Cooper is going to have the nuclear codes. You know, it's terrifying that is actually. So here are the new. Here's Jason Miller, Donald Trump's spokesperson and senior advisor, talking about these new debate demands, saying Kamala Harris doesn't want to debate. She's trying to get out of it. She's trying to pull the kill switch to get out of the debate. Here we go.
I want to go to the debate because I think a lot of Americans haven't seen, Kamala take questions from the media. Obviously, she did one joint interview with Tim Walz, not a hard-hitting interview at CNN. But we're all looking forward to the debate of September 10th. But I don't know that Kamala has actually confirmed the debate. Is it going to happen? What's the latest on the ABC debate?
Well, Sean, good morning. I think that's a great question with regard to the debate. I think that the Harris campaign is looking for an escape hatch, is looking for a way to get out of this debate. To be clear, these are the rules that the Democrats wrote. These are the rules that we had in place for the CNN debate. Everyone had agreed to the rules, at least informally, with ABC. We have a deal with ABC. ABC has a deal. ABC is with us all the way on this. But here's what I think happened. I think the Harris folks started going into debate prep, and now they realize what they're working with. They realize that they're in real trouble with Kamala Harris. They also know that President Trump is the greatest debater in modern political history. So I think they're nervous and want a way out.
So is your point that actually Kamala Harris's team has not confirmed the September 10th debate?
Absolutely not. And it's mind-boggling because you would think that they'd want to debate. I mean, the American public does deserve this, but they refuse to accept the terms of the debate, which, again, everyone had already agreed to it. We'd agreed to it. ABC's agreed to it. The rules are the rules. They're not changing.
They're scared. The whole thing is that they're scared. This is why they're attacking Gold Star families. It's all out of desperation. It's not out of strength. It's out of desperation. It's scared. Ooh, man. President Trump saying that the reason why they want ABC News to rig this debate is because, a bunch of their family members and best friends work at ABC. One of the ABC News executives is like best friends with Queen Camilla. One of Doug Emhoff's good lawyer buddies works at ABC. Trump bringing this up last night.
Look, ABC is probably the worst in terms of fairness.
George Flopadopoulos. The people they have there are just terrible. The head of ABC is her best friend and her husband's best friend, too. And I had to make a decision. Do I want to debate? I'd like to debate. I mean, I guess I won a lot of debates because otherwise I wouldn't have been president.
Okay. That's interesting things to bring up at the debates. So many things. Just a quick blurb here. Tim Walz's brother, Tim Walz, the vice presidential candidate for Kamala Harris, super creepy jazz hands kind of guy. And do not invite him to the Kentucky Derby. No matter what you do, do not invite him. He should not ever, no matter what happens, be a honored guest at the Kentucky Derby. Never see him again, actually. Be like a honeymoon. Tim Walz's brother warns Democrat vice president hopeful is not the type of character that you want in the White House. The stories I could tell. Oh my. What stories could you tell? We have like a little Hunter Biden laptop situation going on here. Tim Walz has an estranged brother who says the Minnesota governor is not the type of character that you want making decisions about your future. The far-left Minnesota leader has polled relatively well since joining Camilla's ticket, but you might see his brother Jeff Walz on the campaign trail for Donald Trump. Jeff Walz, 67, has attracted attention in a post that he wrote on May 2023 when Trump was indicted over payments to porn star Stormy Daniels. We've just become a third world banana republic. The comment section blew up recently after Walz's 60-year-old brother became a step away from the vice presidency. Comments did not flatter the Minnesota left winger. Okay, well, we'll see. What do they call it? Family feud. Ladies and gentlemen, better not feud around the Johnson household. We run a tight ship, and we are protected by our friends at Spikes Tactical. Here is our Monday Gun Day, brought to you by Spikes Tactical. Crazy that we have to even cover this story, but here we are. So, in an amazing turnabout, an Obama-appointed judge declared that criminal illegal aliens that have no legal status in this country and their first act in this nation was breaking our laws. So these criminals and ongoing felons, which is what these people are, sorry, here's what it is, right? Like that's the way the laws are written. We are for a rule of law. Okay, well, go read the 1964 Immigration Act. That has been ratified by Congress every single year. Go read it. Because it says that when you step foot into American territory, you're not an American. Every second you stay here, you remain a felon, right? Okay. So felons can't own firearms. Felons have no rights under our Constitution, meaning people who are here illegally are not American citizens. Therefore, you can't appeal to the Constitution as the law of the land because you're not an American, right? Got it? Anyway, an Obama judge, in order to stick it to Second Amendment appreciators and believers, said, no, actually, criminal aliens have a right to the Second Amendment. They can't, they can go and buy as many firearms as they want. Now, as we have detailed on the show many times, the problems with that system is that there are many members of cartels, members of ISIS, members of terrorist groups that enter this country, and this judge is effectively ruling that terrorists can come here, walk in illegally, and then arm themselves. How could anything possibly go wrong in that scenario? Well, luckily, a 3-judge panel in the United States Supreme Court for the Fifth Circuit affirmed Tuesday that illegal aliens do not have Second Amendment rights. It's amazing that we have to actually have this conversation, but here we go. They did so by pointing to the United States versus Portillo Munoz, which prohibits an illegal alien from possessing a firearm or ammunition. The prohibition was challenged by a defendant who was arrested in 2022 for possession of a firearm and ammunition, illegal alien, and illegal reentry in the United States. The firearm charges should be dismissed, blah, blah, blah. They argued. 3-judge panel noted that that Munoz is constitutional on the Second Amendment, reasoning that the phrase the people in the Second Amendment does not include illegal aliens unlawfully present in the United States. Good. Goodness gracious. Man. Are we going to see sort of a return to sanity here? Yes, I believe so. I believe it with the hellacious nightmare, and you can see it. You can see it like the strings plucking in many different areas. We don't have enough time on the show to cover it, but like it's amazing. It is remarkable the return to sanity in so many arenas in this country, whether it be in advertising, corporate America, judges' rulings. Remember, Trump documents case got tossed out here in Florida. You're seeing this like great return. And I think you're going to see a election night victory at 9 p.m. for Donald Trump. I really do. I think they're going to call it. I really do. I believe that Queen Camilla might actually be there to lose. In my heart of hearts, I actually, and this is my hopium. Okay, I'll straight up tell you, this is my hopium. In my heart of hearts, I think that the powers that be do not believe in Kamala. They don't want her to actually win. They don't want to have to work with her. I think that they know that Trump is term limited. This is a very rare situation to have with the president. Trump's term limited. He can only be president one more term. And they'll get a chance to reset the table. That's what I believe. And that she's running as a sort of Manchurian candidate. It's a fake candidate. It's not real. And it's meant to just help down ballot Democrats, right? To stave off, like get the certain voters in the Democratic bloc like out and voting because they know they're going to be able to trick them into voting. And Camilla's not going to win. That is my hopium and copium. That's my theory. There's no such thing as a conspiracy theory, right? There's just theories, okay? There's theories. That's my theory, all right? Something that's not a theory is that you should be protecting yourself. You should be practicing your rights, freedom of speech, freedom to defend yourself. And that's what's kept, the Second Amendment is what's kept this nation free. Second Amendment is what keeps this nation free and keeps the tyrants apace and on their back foot. And so it is very good, tyrants abroad and domestically. And so it's very good to ensure that you are practicing your Second Amendment rights. I do so with Spikes Tactical, which creates a very, very safe and a very safe protection for us that makes us sleep so well at night inside of the Johnson household. Sleep like a baby. Spike Tactical, ladies and gentlemen. More content with them actually coming soon. We got some fun ideas in the hopper. Let's rock and roll. I see people mounting machine guns to their cyber trucks. I'm starting to get really jealous of that. So we're gonna see if we can't get some of that content going. Maybe that'll be our Donald Trump interview. Maybe that'll be our Donald Trump live. Not sure. But ladies and gentlemen, this is Monday Gun Day from Spike Tactical. We're rocking and rolling. We will be live. We will be traveling to Trump events, to Camilla events. I got some questions I got to ask people. I got some questions I got to keep asking. Okay, like I think we're going to be starting a whole new channel with for Just Man on the Streets, and the best place to go get man on the street content is going to be Camilla rallies, and we're gonna go ourselves. We're gonna go ourselves. I think it's important. I don't like time away from my kids, but we got 60 days to save the country, and we're doing it for our kids. So there we go. We'll sleep after November. We'll sleep in November. Yeah, we'll all celebrate at Trump Tower together. Celebrate with us, ladies and gentlemen. Join the Benny Brigade. You can go to BennyJohnson.com. Join the Benny Brigade. You can support our work here. You can become a member on YouTube, and we just appreciate it. People ask how they can support us. Well, here we go. We are going to be doing sort of a meet and greet here in the Tampa area, so we'll let you know more on that when it happens. My wife and I would really like to do a meet and greet. We've been here for nearly 3 years, and it's been a wonderful home. It's been a wonderful home to us. And we've had 3 more kids since coming here. So, well, my wife's pregnant right now. So, well, we are going to have 3 extra kids. So Florida's been good for us. It's been very, very good. Ladies and gentlemen, the greatest goodness I can give to you every single day is speaking the good news. And I can guarantee that I speak the good news by reading to you a Bible verse every single day, our verse of the day from Proverbs 14. All hard work brings a profit, but mere talk leads only to poverty. I love a verse like this. You old Proverbs. We have a saying at this company: success equals publication. It means like get the work done. right? Get it up on the internet. Get our message out there. Like, finish the job. There is no substitute. There's no AI. There's no magic wand. There's no substitute. Just getting out and doing the work. That's why we're going to be bringing on a lot of people to talk about. That's why we partnered with Turning Point Action to talk about registering voters. We're going to talk about registering voters every single show. We're going to talk to real pollsters doing the real work, like we heard from Rich Bears today. And we're going to do the work on the show. We're going to hit it. We were at the RNC. We were at the DNC. We went to Obama's neighborhood. Man, that was dangerous where we went. There were 15 people killed in the neighborhoods we were doing man on the streets on. Whew, man, don't tell my wife. But we were there. We were out there. We're doing the work, and we're doing it with you. With you. We're doing this together. It's a big, beautiful, salty movement that we have here. And we're going to win. And we're going to win because we actually do the work. Not just talk, the work. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Benny. March with us. Head up high. No dooming around here. No black pills, only red pills. Fill the comment section with them. We'll see ya.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Show where the truth gon' be. Faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to life. From the speeches to debates, Benny sharp like a blade. Cutting through the lies, watch the truth cascade. With the warrior's heart, this man never fades. You know it's prime time when Benny invades. From saving the nation to stories untold, the Benny Show's a storm, see the truth unfold. Stay in the loop, let freedom take hold. Salting all the libs, soul never sold. It's the Benny Show, where the truth gon' be. Faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to life. Liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Liberty to light. Bringing liberty to life. From the speeches to debates, Benny sharp like a blade. Cutting through the lies, watch the truth cascade. With the warrior's heart, this man never fades. You know it's prime time when Benny invades. From saving the nation to stories untold, the Benny Show's a storm, see the truth unfold. Stay in the loop, let freedom take hold. Salting all the libs, soul never sold. It's the Benny Show, where the truth gon' be. Faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to life. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light.